Yeah,
Say again.
you are on.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Midday Market. I just lost the chat. Welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, and I'm glad to be here. Glad to have you here. Let me know when I can take the chat.
I'm not touching anything. Here.
All right. All right, let me get this set up. There we go. This noon update brought to you by Cafe Bustelo and Crispy Bacon. Well, way to go, John. I like that. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, and let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. First trading day after the weekend. Let's see what we can get ourselves into. I'm going to do, it seems like there was a lot of, there was a lot of good feedback in regards to the video that was done this weekend. A lot of questions asked about what search was used, a lot of different things. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today as we get into what we normally get into on Mondays. But it wasn't a search, it was more so research. And I'm looking for specific someone, looking to see if Donald is here, because on our VectorVest page, he's asking a lot of questions. So, and I'm sure a lot of people do have questions, but the search or the idea of the stocks that were found for you are doing very, very well in the first month. In tonight's video, I'm going to try to do the same thing again, but looking at explosive industry. So make sure you tune into that tonight at 6 p.m. The 6 p.m. video will be talking about pretty much doing the same thing that I did for the 2023 stocks, but now using industries to go along with that. All right. Mesh says KC or Philly. I'm thinking I'm going KC. I'm going KC. I don't know. I think I'm going. That's my opinion. I'm thinking I'm going KC. Interesting that, man, that the Philly game with Purdy going down quick changed the outcome of that game. I think it was big. It was big. Eton is tuning in from Israel. Thank you for being here as well. So we've got about 220 people here today. Let's go see if we can get the room up to about 300 people. I need you guys to share this live stream, and a lot of the stuff that we do here and talk about, and some stocks that we have found, not by happen chance. A lot of research goes in between looking for those stocks along with the VectorVest system. I hope they both lose, says John. John says he hopes they. Well, I don't think that can happen. I don't think that they can both lose. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to win. All right. West Cassett, Maine. Did I say that right, Ted? Did I say that? I've never heard of that. That's a place in Maine that I've never heard of. So there we go. All right. So as you can see today, 3 yellow lights. Primary wave still looks, I think it's still up. I can't actually, let's just go do it this way. Primary wave, I believe, is still up. Where's my home page? Primary wave is still up. I just wanted to make sure. Primary wave is still up. Yellow day today. Neutral as far as the guidance. A down day. All of the major indices are down, with the NASDAQ leading the charge to the downside. But this makes 6 consecutive days that the primary wave is up, meaning that the market is going higher and higher day over day, week over week. So that's a good thing for the market. Today is just a down day. Today is not a panic day. But as I start to look into what's going on in the market, I do want to look at some market timing. So let's start off there. All right, here's the VectorVest composite, which looks at over 9,000 stocks. And currently, for the second time in the last couple of weeks, the market is looking at a level of being overbought, where the MTI is in that range between 1.5 and 1.6. What is the market doing today? Pulling back. What happened the last time that happened? We pulled back for 3 days, but notice that the 3 and the 8 still stayed positive. All right. As well, we have right now. So what are we doing? We're testing a level of support sitting at the value of about 57.44. Let's see if that level will hold. Let's also see if the VectorVest composite will hold. And let's go see how far the MTI will pull out from here as well. But we are in the range of the market for looking at overbought. Well, that makes sense that the market's pulling back a little bit. You know, what goes up has to come down at some point in time. Can't go up forever. But we do have an indicator that shows that. Sonny says, maybe if we all log into multiple devices, we can get Glenn to his 300 viewers. Well, you know, that'd be good. I just, you know, but it'd be better if we have 300 unique viewers. That would be even better. But thank you, Sonny. Ted Weber, that's Tommy talking to Ted. There you go. So I love that you guys do talk to each other as well. All right. So from a market timing perspective, market's moving up. Pulling back today, the 3 and the 8 are still in play. This level of support is still in play. And from a VectorVest perspective, the MTI is at a level where the market is starting to look toppy once again. All right. With that being said, let's talk about some stocks. Well, before we start to talk about some stocks, let's talk about the portfolio that was on display for the Friday video. Now, I'm going to go to the viewers tab. All right, and I'm going to go down to what I've got a list here of YouTube videos. The video was put out on 1/3, the beginning of the year. All right, and this was my stock list. Now, a lot of people are asking, where did I get these stocks? Well, for the purposes of trying to find out what stocks could do well going into the year, I had to do some research. Part of that research is to see what industries these stocks were coming from and what indices had a potential for going up. So petroleum drilling, we've got, actually, that's petroleum drilling. Retail home furnishings, I had a story in that video about Lovesac. Crypto, now crypto, I'm not really big on crypto, but Riot does have a relative value above 1. So I took that as a crypto play as the crypto space was starting to move back up. I still don't think it's going to get back to the levels that it was way back when, but if I'm going to look at a crypto, I wanted to use the VectorVest system to find a crypto that had good upside, and Riot did. Drug biomedical, a lot of stocks in the drug biomedical space have opportunities to go up, but there was a story behind EXAS, which is why I put it in the list. Lithium. Well, after I did this video, I did a video on commodities. All right. And lithium was a commodity that I liked, and I put that in there. EVs, blink charging. That was in the list because that made sense, especially with the demand of EVs. App Harvest, really liked this stock from the purpose of what they do. All right, so App Harvest grows food inside, and they can grow any food that they want at any point in time of the year. They don't have to be seasonal foods. And the idea of countries going through famines, going through floods, affecting produce, App Harvest made a lot of sense in what they do, which is why I put it on the list for 2023 stocks. Zscaler in the internet or computer safety space, and SLDP. All right, so these were the stocks that I put out. They didn't come from a search. They came from research of what stocks or what industries had potentials to go up for this year. Notice that the listing of the stocks was very diversified so that we didn't put any of all of our eggs into one basket. All right, so I double checked. It was done on the 3rd because it was, looking at stocks to go into for the new year. Now notice that App Harvest today is taking a big hit, even though it's still a hold recommendation. And this is important in looking at these stocks. These stocks went up well. I'm going to do a test of these real quick. Go back to the date of the video on January 3rd. All right. And Notice that on that date, a lot of these stocks were sell recommendations. Remember, the video was done for looking at stocks that had potential to go up for the year, not the stocks that were already running. That's why I went with this list of stocks and why, from a VectorVest perspective, they didn't all look so good. So Don was here. I saw him on our Facebook channel. It says, why would you have bought on the 3rd? Well, it was the beginning of the year, and this was setting the stage for stocks for you to look at for the year. But he brought up a good point. Why would you have bought on the 3rd? And the answer to that question, primary wave was down. I probably would not have bought on the 3rd. But the next day, on January 4th, we did get a primary wave up. So let's do this. Let's move it to the date that we did get a primary wave up on the 4th. Let's now still test it from that time until right now. Let's do a quick test of the top, all the stocks that I have right there. I don't know where my quick test went. It went somewhere. Hold on. Let me try that again. There it is. And even from the date that we did, from a VectorVest perspective, a date that we did get a primary wave up in the software, we're still up just about 50% on the year. Overall, folks, we're blowing the doors off of the S&P 500. All right. Hey, Braxton, good to see you here, my friend. All right. So the whole idea of going back to the 3rd was to put everything on an equal playing field with all of the other companies that were out there. Hold on. Where do I have that? There it is. Glenn 2023 picks. So when I made that video, I looked at other companies that are out there like CNBC. CNBC put out their stocks on the 3rd as well. I'm going to go back to the 3rd. Put out their stocks on the 3rd as well. All right, so I wanted to be able to compare the picks that we gave you here at VectorVest out to all of the other people out there who gave stocks for the year. So I'm looking at CNBC's top 10 stocks. Let's do a quick test. 14%, not bad. Not bad, still outperforming the S&P by almost 3 to 1. Heck, good stocks. Out of the 10 stocks, 8 of them are winners, 2 of them are losers. Let's go to MarketWatch. Now, MarketWatch gave 20 stocks for the year. All right, MarketWatch gave 20 stocks for the year. Let's go back to 1-3. All right, let's go back to 1-3. Let's do a quick test of all of them. And they're at 12.85%. All their stocks are winning stocks. Look at that. All right, all their stocks are winning stocks. They're outpacing the S&P as well. Let's go to Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance gave their top 13 stocks for the year. Still tracking from 1/3/2023. Let's do a quick test of the top 10 or top all of them. 4.85%. Still keeping up with the S&P. 8 winners, 5 losers. But there you go. They're still winning stocks. And let's go do Forbes. Forbes gave some stocks as well. 7 stocks for the year. Let's do a quick test of theirs. 9.2%. As compared to the S&P 500 at 5.85. So going back to the 3rd was just to keep everything on an even playing field from the first trading day of the year up into current to see how everybody's stocks, everybody who posted stocks on the internet to give to their people for the year. And there we go. All right. So for anybody out there who had questions about the video, was I able to answer them? Type a yes or a no in the room, all right? Because there was a lot of questions out there about what I did. And a lot of it, folks, was about research to find out what industries were moving and the news behind some of the stocks in those industries that made it so that these stocks should be good candidates going into the year. So I'm not seeing a bunch of answers in here yet. So the people that I guess that I really was looking for ain't here because, well, maybe they'll watch it on the replay nonetheless. All right. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time because it's got a lot of traction. And I just wanted to be able to point out. And when I'm looking at cryptos, Riot was my crypto play, but look at the relative value on the stock. The stock had good upside potential as compared to any of the other crypto stocks that we track in the system. And again, when I do the quick test, it did well. Where is it? Riot is up 87%. All right, I'm still not on board with crypto, but from the standpoint of the time that we were looking at and what we were looking for to give ideas for stocks for the year, it fit the bill. It fit the bill. Now, in holding these stocks, let's do this real quick. In holding these stocks, let's stream this to right now. In holding these stocks, what do you need to do? Well, if you've gotten into them and you've made money on them, you got to make sure that you capture profit. So let's bring up a 3-month graph on these stocks. Mark says, looking at the values of stocks for 2023, mostly red. So another part of getting out of these stocks at the right time is look to see what's going on in the market. If the market starts turning over, folks, that's a great sign. That's a great sign to think about getting out of these stocks. But let's go back to the date that we did this, which was 1-3. All right, there's 1-3. All right, we had the primary wave up on 1-4. The 3 and the 8 didn't close up on rig until 1-5. Was that a good opportunity to buy? Absolutely. Is it a good opportunity to hold? Right now, the 3 and the 8 are still solid. Let's go to Lovesac. Now, interesting. Here's 1-3. Here's 1-4. We got the primary wave up. You're still up. Even though the stock is starting to move sideways, you're still up on the trade. So now I've got a solid level of support right here. If it breaks down and closes below that level of support, that may not be a bad opportunity to take the stock off the table. Riot, still moving up. Even on the pullback, the 3 and the 8 held. You're still in it. A lot of selling pressure on Riot today. Would that get you out of the stock? Only if you get nervous, but I would wait for the 3 to cross below the 8 end of day. All right, before I pull the trigger on this. Mark says, I'm here for moral support. Unfortunately, my focus is elsewhere. Mark, thank you for being here nonetheless. John says, Rig has been a big winner for me. Good call on Rig. Again, it wasn't, it was the research that brought these stocks to the forefront. I'm looking at EXAS. The 3 and the 8 didn't cross until the 9th. It's still, look at that. Now the 3 crossed below the 8 for a day. Could you have gotten out? Yes. Is it moving sideways? Yes. You make the call. All right, you make the call. Let's go to the next one. Wow, lithium. There's 1-4. We got the primary wave up. If you wanted to wait for the 3-8 to cross, you would have gotten in on 111, and you're still up. Even on the pullback, the 3 and the 8 held. So not only am I showing you the stocks and the results, I'm actually, for right now, am walking you through the process of when to close the positions on these as well. Brax says, have you used the MPI and been successful with it? Braxton, I'm going to show that. On Mondays, I do talk about the NPI, and we'll take a look at what the NPI showed us last week and what it looks like today. All right, we'll do that. Blink, even though it's moving down, the 3 and the 8 still solid, and I've got a level of support to help me to get out of the stock. And wow, APPH still running. Big down day today, but look how solid the 3 and the 8 are. Volume is pulling back, so you know something? I wouldn't be afraid to take some off the table, but I'm going to give you right here. Here's a level of the candle before. I have a line in the sand sitting at $2.23. $2.23. What else is here? Zscaler. This is on the computer safety side. 3 and the 8 cross after the call, the primary wave up, but still you're positive on it. Down day to day, but the 3 and the 8 are still solid. And the last stock, wow, just SLDP. Just rocking and rolling nicely. Nice 45-degree angle, moving the stock from a sell to a hold. All right, so the purpose again of that was to walk you through the stocks that were in the video and give you some heads up if you're in any of those stocks on how to get out of and manage and take those profits off of the table. All right, so Colin, I'm still holding my APPH right now. but I've given it a wide stop because the stock's price was up so much. So I got a wide stop on that stock. All right. So now let's get into what we normally have today, midday market update. Let's go look at the indices today. As we talked about, all of the major indices are down today. Let's go see what the VIX is doing. VIX is up today, so there's a little bit more fear coming into the market. Well, the Fed speaks this week too, right? So a lot of people are hinging on waiting on what the Fed is going to say before the market goes one direction or another. So I can totally understand that. Brax, should you get into should I invest in APPH? So now let's go back to the graph. And one thing you'll always hear me say, I'm never going to buy in a stock on a down day. And today, let's go back to a 1 month graph. Today is a down day. I would not buy into it today. But if I'm holding it like I am holding it, I am waiting for the 3 to cross below the 8 end of day before I get into it. But no matter how good a stock is, no matter what I say about a stock, I would never buy in on a down day, ever. I just won't do it. All right, let's go back to the viewers. So that's what the market looks like today. And the market's really not running away gangbusters. The Dow is only down 0.2%. It's just the NASDAQ right now that's the leader. What time is the Fed speaking today? It's not today. I don't think the Fed speaks until Wednesday or Thursday. I'd have to look that up. All right, I'd have to look that up. Would you add others and sell some? Would you add others as you sell some of them? You know, that's a good question. Tonight's video is going to give you a listing of more stocks to put into your watch list. But one of the key things, George, is to make sure that the market is moving in your direction before you pull the trigger. All right. That's a big note in tonight's video, is make sure that the market is on your side before you pull the trigger. If the market starts to go down, no. If the market's got legs to the upside and the market is giving you opportunities to buy, then yes, you can, but I would still do it sparingly. I would still do it sparingly. All right, my big news stocks today. Let's go out to the internet. Let's talk about my news stocks. Web view, there we go. U.S. stocks falls as investors await the Fed meeting. He does talk later. That's Monday. Fed officials broadly expect to raise interest rates by a quarter, which most people want that to happen. You don't want the 50 or the 75. Would that be enough to move markets higher? Well, keep in mind that the market is still raising, or that the Fed is still raising interest rates. Even if it's only a quarter basis points, interest rates are still going up. Now, keeping that in mind, we're still historically low from years before. All right. But a lot of people are moaning and groaning about the raising of the interest rates to effectively go after inflation. Part of that is right there. The Fed's interest rate strategy in 2023 hinges on how quickly rates increases slow economy. And that's the big story. We are in a shrinking economy. And this is abnormal because the Fed normally doesn't raise interest rates into a shrinking economy, but the inflation number has been so bad, even though it's coming off of its recent highs, so bad that the Fed is still hawkish on that. So depends on how much slower the economy is going to get. Mark says, Glenn, you always give us good information. Thanks. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, my friend. All right. This is another big story. Banks brace for more consumers to fall behind on their loans. All right. And I don't think a lot of people talk about that as much as they should, because people are borrowing money and they're going to buy now and pay later. But and even on the loans, that's going to be bad for the economy. But now keep in mind that the banks have gotten too big to fail. So if that's going to be another story, that if consumers fall behind on their loans to the point of almost defaulting, what is the government going to do to these banks? Because they're too big to fail, they're probably going to put more money, more stimulus to keep these banks from failing. That's bad because now we're spending money again, which is going to raise inflation. So the Fed is walking a tightrope in what they are doing. How about this story? Ford to cut prices while significantly increasing Mach-E production amid Tesla cuts. Tesla has now started an EV pricing war. So Tesla has already cut prices. I did that in a live stream last week, cutting prices to get more stuff out. The Fed meets tomorrow. Is that right, Richard? You know something? Let's go do this. Let's go to investing.com. Yikes. Investing.com. Hit the enter. Let's go to tools. Go to economic calendar. Let's scroll down to this week. Monday, Tuesday. Looking at Tuesday, we got employment wages, red book, house prices. Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. There it is. Tommy, you're right. And it is Wednesday at 2 p.m. All right. So, Richard, I wasn't sure, but I wanted to check. It is the FOMC and then the rate decision. That's going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be big, and that will determine what the market's probably going to do going into the end of the week. All right. So that's Ford. That is Tesla. And how about this? Here's another story out there on Market Watch. Tesla stock has fallen enough to start buying, and that's somebody's opinion. And Tesla stock in the VectorVest software had fallen enough to finally get to a point where it's undervalued. And let's go see how many of you currently are trading Tesla type of 1. If you're not trading Tesla, type of 2. How many of you are currently trading Tesla type of 1? If you're not trading Tesla, type of 2. Now, I did a video not too long ago on Tesla. I like Tesla overall as a stock. It's fundamentally sound, and I just need this man right here to get away from the Twitter highlights and get back into Tesla. A lot of people typing in twos. Bob, that's not a bad idea to trade options. And of course, you know that there's 2 ETFs that you can trade if you don't want to trade the Tesla high price. There's TSLL to play Tesla to the long side inexpensively, and Tesla TSLQ to play Tesla to the downside, a lot less expensive than buying into the Tesla stock as well. So there's a lot that can be made on either side depending on which side you're on. Thanks to VectorVest, I was up over 40% on Tesla, buying low RT NASDAQ 100 stocks. Way to go. Seems China is moving more open, thus Tesla. Yes, and you know something, I think that as China starts to reopen, because they are the biggest consumer of everything, that could help the markets globally. But what can stymie the government or stifle the government is going to be what the Fed says. Now, if they raise only a quarter basis points, I think that the market has that priced in. But if he goes higher than that, the market's going to lose their freaking mind. Up in here, up in here. So I don't think that happens. Tesla has leverage, ETF. Those were the 2 that I gave, Dennis. Those were the 2 ETFs that I gave for Tesla. All right, so this is an interesting story. I think it's been beaten up. I think he needs to put more of his energy back into Tesla and get out of Twitter. Here's another story, Lucid. Now, Lucid stock extends gains, so this is in the EV space as well. I'm going to take a look at that stock. The biggest thing for me on any EV outside of Tesla is, can these companies provide the product? Can they provide the inventory? Is there a unit search that provides new confirmed call sells? I can, so if you've got a confirmed call, confirmed up or confirmed down, you go to your favorite long search. But you know something? I got something for you, CL Butler. I got something for you. Here's a story that came out of our website. If you ever go to www.vectorvest.com just www.vectorvest.com, we always put up stories on here about stocks as well. So I'm going to take a look at that stock for you here as well. So let's talk about unit search for confirmed calls. I am going to go put JPM up here. JPM. I got something to show you. CL Butler, if you are a subscriber to the VectorVest software, also in the viewers tab, you have something called the trading system viewer. I can show it to everybody because even if you don't have VectorVest, you can't do this. You got to be a VectorVest subscriber. So CL Butler, watch this. If I click on market timing, right? Let's go see what searches are reacting to the best of the confirmed calls. You see that, CL Butler? All right, so that's a great question. But let's go see which one. How about this? Russell 2K winners, Vern's vultures. At least it's pretty up to even, excuse me, over the last 1 month, 3 month, and 1 year. Let's see what else is here. Wow, it's the 1 year that's hurting them. It is the 1 year that's hurting them. Why would anyone not be a VectorVest subscriber is what I say. Listen, to each his or her own. You know that we do have the access. We give you access. 99 cents gives you access to the VectorVest system for 30 days. 30 days. You can't beat that. Right? But the trading system viewer, CL Butler, can help you out. And as I look at all of the confirmed calls, there's nothing that really gets me, with the exception of the Russell 2K winners / Vern's vultures. But that's a shorting side. Is bear put spreads doing good? It all depends on the stock. It all depends on the stock. And if you're bearish, you're selling puts, you're bearish and buying puts, bear put spreads, right? You got to be bearish on the stock. But not only that, Braxton, you got to make sure that the market is going to be conducive to those stocks going down in price, right? If you're bearish with puts, you got to make sure that the market is moving down because so Braxton, what is Tesla doing? And that's the question. What's Tesla doing? Put this on a 1 month graph. Are you going to be bearish on Tesla right now, Braxton? What's the stock's price doing? All right. Let the stock come to you. At least if I'm going to try to be bearish on a stock like Tesla, why not let the stock show me that it's being bearish? Why not on an end of day basis, no matter what moving averages you're using, put them onto a graph? There's nothing that's telling me to be bearish. I got a down day today, but it's nothing telling me to be bearish on Tesla just quite yet. There is a sign though. RT just went below 1. That's a precursor. Let the stock come to you though. Glamour Stocks is best year to date for confirmed calls. Glamour Stocks. I did that strategy a while ago. I like that strategy, looking for overvalued stocks that still have gumption. It's a good search. Bob says, pays for itself over and over, VectorVest. See, for those of you who are not subscribers to the VectorVest system, and 99 cents, if you're thinking about, should I spend 99 cents? Listen to the people in the room. I can tell you, I'm a company guy. I can tell you that it's something that you need to consider. But listen to the people who are in the room. Lucid spikes 98% on and that was the story behind Lucid, that they were going to get bought out or get funded by Saudi investment. All right, if they throw the money behind it, that might be a good move for it. It might be a good move for it. Do I want to take it long term? I don't know if I want to take it long term if they cannot provide inventory. But the short term news, if they're going to be funded and put money into it, then short term, Lucid may not be a bad play. But let's go take a look. So I wanted to talk about that, right? Let's go back to the viewers, go to the watch list viewer, and let's go look at the big news. So let's talk about Lucid. So Lucid made the news, right? Let's take a look at it. The stock is grossly overvalued, fundamentally not sound. Relative value and relative safety are both below the value of one. The only thing it's got going for it right now, Drew, is that it's in an uptrend. All right, so technical. It's a technical play. Look at the earnings per share. They're negative earnings per share. They are growing it at 23%. So that means that negative earnings per share is probably going to get better. But if I'm looking at, should I buy the stock now based on the news? RT tells me that short term, it's in an uptrend. Short term is in an uptrend. Long term, do I want it? Not that it's way overvalued and not that the fundamentals are not there. All right. So, Drew, does that make sense? You're right that short term, based on speculation, it is moving higher. But if I'm looking to try to own this stock long term, I don't think I want to. Does that make sense, Drew? Because it is speculation. But by way of the VectorVest analysis, I'm not feeling the stock long term. Lucid opened a shop in Montreal, Canada. And that's fine, Christian. There's nothing wrong. That's a great thing. That doesn't change the analysis on the stock long term. All right, that still doesn't change the analysis on the stock long term. Tesla, on the other hand, it was undervalued, but the stock's price is starting to move up higher again because a lot of people are looking at Tesla being beaten up as a buying opportunity. The price shows it because now it's back overvalued. Fundamentally, though, the stock is fundamentally sound, should outperform a AAA corporate bond, and it continues to make money. What's hurting it is relative timing is below 1. JP Morgan Trace, I'm going to call that fairly valued, good upside potential, good safety, decent safety, fundamentally sound, that is going up in price. And Ford cutting the prices, you're welcome, Drew. Ford cutting the prices on the car to go up against Tesla. I'm going to pretty much call this fairly valued as well. Nowhere near as fundamentally sound as Tesla. Does that mean that I wouldn't buy it? Well, I timed the move on that because maybe the lowering of the price in their EV space will give them a bump to move higher. Notice that relative timing is right at the 1, not quite above 1. Fundamentally, nowhere near as sound as Tesla. But maybe the news will help to grow the bottom line and make them look more profitable. All right. So that's the big news for this week. Big news for last week. Let's go see what stocks I had last week and let's see what they did. Let's go back 1 week. Let's go see what they did on 123. So AMD was in this list, NVIDIA, QCOM. And again, I had stories. Lucid was in the news. I had Lucid in the news last week too. Look at that. Let's quick test them. Did they do well or not? Look at that. We did well on the stocks in the news from last week. And look at that. Lucid up 37% since we looked at it last week. Folks, this is why I tell you guys, invite people to the channel. We try to do the best that we can to give you the information that guys help you guys make money. AMD, though, on the losing side, down about 4%. But nonetheless, over 1 week, the S&P is up 0.5%, and this listing of stocks is up 6%. All right, let's go down to the fastest moving industries. I'm not going to talk much about that today because I'm going to do the 6 p.m. video. It's already recorded. I'm going to show you how to build a search in the system to help you to find what industries are moving, to help you to find the stocks that are moving. So it's explosive industries, but explosive stocks in explosive industries. Industry ETFs, where's the money going today? Another Tesla burned up this week. I didn't hear that story, Roger. You said CRZWQ had too many letters. It's up 44. And listen, it was up over 100%, but it has a new support. Listen, it's a 45-cent stock. I don't know how many of you are that speculative. Let's go with CRZWQ. I don't even track it. CRZ, let's go try it again. CRZWQ. I don't track it. All right, so if I don't track it, I probably couldn't give you any analysis. It does have a lot of letters. All right, it's probably a pink sheet. All right, Core Scientific, they have money coming in every day and they rent mining machines. But Kenny, I can't analyze it. So without that, I can make the statement that it's got too many letters, but I can't analyze it. Carvana is another, it's on the move. That's a meme stock. That's another CVMA. I'd be careful with that. I just put that onto a 1 month graph. I'd be careful with that. It came out of basing. Now, even when the 3 and the 8 cross, notice that when it started moving sideways, the 3 never went below. The 3 never went below the 8. Watch the wick on today's candle. The wick is not as big as the body. The volume is there. The volume is there. I'd be careful with this. Relative value, relative safety, both below the value of 1. Fundamentally, this stock is no good. Earnings per share is negative. Earnings growth rate is negative. So this is a short-term move, probably part of some kind of short squeeze or something going on. I wouldn't trust it further than I can throw it. All right, I wouldn't cross it further than I can throw it. And let's go look at SMCI. SMCI, we'll do that real quick. Looking at it, I'm not feeling that. If I'm going to think about anything in this space, I'd look at TSM, or ASML. I'd look at a couple of other stocks in the space, but the 3 and the 8 on SMCI, even though they're negative, I do have a level of support that I could keep my eyes on. But if I'm looking at, look, TSM is a better play in the space. All right, even though it's leveling out, the 3 is currently above the 8. And ASML, who's pulling back off of a level of resistance, the 3 and the 8 are still holding open candle, which means that today's price is higher than the open. I would keep my eyes more so there. One more stock. Let's go look at CLFD. All right, you guys were slick today. You got me to look at your stocks. I wasn't even trying to. You know, I wasn't even trying to. Let's go to 1 month graph. Clearfield, I see it leveling out. I need end of day for the 3 to go above the 8 before I buy it. RT is below 1. The volume is okay. But again, no matter what the news is, let the trade come to you. Let the trade come to you. CORZQ, Core Scientific. Let's go take a look at it. It's moving. Fundamentally, not sound, but it's moving. And it's 33 cents. I don't know how many of you are going to feel comfortable with a 33-cent stock, but the volume is above average volume for the last few days. RT is above 1. I can't say no. I still think it's got too many letters. I think it's a pink sheet, but if it's giving you an opportunity to take the money, go ahead. Diaper Joel says, Glenn, I've been with VectorVest for 100 years. I learn something new every time I listen to you. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. All right. So, yeah, here's Core Scientific. Be careful with it. All right. Fundamentally not sound. Probably news driven. Just be careful with it. All right. Do you think SMCI will continue to trend down? I don't know what news is driving it. Where's the SMCI? Let's go take a look at it real quick. SMCI, fundamentally, it's okay. Something tells me it's got to be something's not going right in the process of what the business. Something ain't going right, and I haven't taken a look at news. So without me taking a look at news, I'm not sure what's driving it down. But I did point you in the direction of a couple of other stocks in that space to keep your eyes on rather than SMCI. It has some buys, also sales growth is 79%, and that's great. But they're in chapter 11. That's just reorganization. Is that what you're saying for SMCI, Kenny? Is that what you're saying for SMCI? Is that what they're going through? So when I can look at fundamentally the sound being the stock being sound, but the stock's price is moving, it normally means something is going on in the company itself. So if you're saying that SMCI is in chapter 11 bankruptcy, that would be interesting. All right. So I looked at more than enough stocks that I thought I was going to look at for you guys. I wasn't even ready to do that today. You guys are slick. Super slick. Where's the money going today? Let's talk about that. Uranium. All right, uranium. I did a video on commodities. Uranium is on the rise. I gave my reasons why I liked commodities. All right, so all of those things that are moving that you can come back and say, well, after the fact, you're telling us after the fact that this is going on and that's going on. That's why I invite you guys to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, so that you can see these videos when they happen. And then you won't be behind going, man, I wish I knew about that. All right. So, but that's where the money is going today. Utilities and consumer staples. Where's the money? Where natural gas is getting smoked. Energy is getting smoked. That's where the money's not going. Lithium, on the other hand, is down today, whereas uranium is up. Copper is down today. Uranium is looks like the only commodity that is up there. Karen says something new each time. Yep, there we go. Thank you. Oh, you were talking about Core Scientific being in bankruptcy, Chapter 11. Then that's another reason why I wouldn't want to buy that stock right now. Did you mention something on my AI question, Ulrich? I did not see the question. I did a video on AI. But I'm going back through the chat to see if I see anything on your question. Just do me a favor. Ask your question again. Ask your question again, Ulrich. I say subscribe to the software, learn how to use it, and run model portfolios. The learning experience is powerful and rewarding. Thank you for that, John. Ulrich, ask your question again. I didn't see the question. I apologize. App about to cross the 200-day. Again, I'm still holding it. I love what they do, and I love the impact that they can have on produce. I love the impact that they can have on produce. So I think it's a good pick. So Braxton wanted to know about the MPI. Let's go take a look. I've got some stocks for you for the NPI one-day crossover. These are my optionable stocks for you. They're lower dollar optionable stocks. All of these meet the criteria for the MPI crossing on the 1 day. I'm waiting for the graph to pop up. Once it does, we'll take a look at the stocks. See, I don't have to do weekly customer picks today because I already did it. All right, let's go to the 3 day. Ooh, neither one of them want to pop up right now. Lisa, are you here? Okay, there's the 3 day. Let's go back to the 1 day. So if I graph all of these, put these on a 1 month graph, and let's change the graph layout to the near perfect indicator. Boom. There's the 5 going above the 40. All right. Reference your short recent watch list of AI stuff. Follow it and see, especially that the mostly perfect index is perfect. All looks good, but prices are down. So remember, my whole AI list were stocks for you to keep your eyes on. Always remember, no matter what listing of stocks I ever present to you, 1, make sure that the market is moving in your direction. 2, make sure the stock is moving in your direction before you pull the trigger. My commodities daily, let's go back to that. Let's go to viewers. Let's go to YouTube videos. Where's my commodities for 2023? Commodities that happened on January 20th, right? So let's talk about that, Aurora. That was on January 20th. Okay. Let's go see which ones are moving. Let's move them up. They are down. The only one that I would consider right now, Ulrich, would be lithium and uranium. The other ones are getting beat up, especially natural gas. So if I'm looking at from that video, which ones would I be interested in? I'd look at the graph of those. To make sure that I could time getting into them at the right time. Ulrich, so does that make sense? What's up, Energy? EJM says, what was the second stock you said at a TSMC, SMCI? Oh, TSM and that was Taiwan, and ASML. All right. So let's keep looking at my stocks from the 1 day, the MPI 1 day. Look at that. The 500 Pro. I like the stock's prices moving up. All right, Glenn, I just sent the question again, but it was your short AI list. What short AI list? I only had one AI list, Ulrich. So hopefully I answered your question about that. I only had one AI list. All right, let's go to the next one, Braxton. How about this? RES, I like the 5 is above the 40, but I see it trending down. I'd be careful with that. I would draw a trend line connecting the highs, and I would wait, even though the 5 is above the 40 on the MPI, I'd wait to see if this stock could break above that level of the downtrend. CCJ is a uranium pick. I do like that as well. I like that pick. What else is in here? Wow, LTRX. There it is. That's a nice looking one. And you know what else is fitting to happen? The 5 is getting ready to cross the 40 on price. I'm writing that one down. LTRX. I like that setup. Now, I don't like the wick at the top of the candle, but the body is still bigger than the wick. I like the 5 coming out of a trough. Stan Heller likes it better when it comes out of a trough, but I like that the 5 is above the 40 on RT, and the 5 is about to go above the 40 on price. This may not be a bad play, Braxton. I like this. Would the battery industry be good because more electric things are coming out? The battery industry goes up and down, but and that's what lithium is all about. That's what the lithium play is all about, is for the lithium batteries. But it goes up and down, up and down. But right now, the only 2 commodities that I can show that are moving are lithium and uranium. May not be a bad play. Christian says, hey, Glenn, do you like HLBS? I don't know what that stock is. HLBZ. For AI, I got to do some research on it. I can't give you an answer. Do you think uranium is a long play? Yes. I think uranium is a long play because we're looking for alternatives to fossil fuels, and more people are coming online with nuclear power plants and nuclear generators. So yes, I do like uranium long play. I've done several videos on uranium alone on its own. So I do like uranium, and any uranium stocks to go with a watch. I've got a video already out there on our page on that you can take a look at. I've got a few good uranium stocks that you can make a watch list out of. All right. So again, Braxton, I do like LTRX. Ooh, Diana Shipping. The 5 went above the 40 here, came back down. The 5 went above the 40 again in a deeper trough. Let's go see. I do like the move. This is on a 1-month graph. Let's go put this on a 3-month graph. And it's breaking through a downtrend. Look at that. I like that play. I'm writing that down too. DSX. I'm liking that. And this is all from the MPI 1 day. I'd like to see the 5-day cross above the 40 on price. But I like the move coming off this level of support-ish. And I'm also looking at the downtrend of RT, but I'm also looking at the, I'm also looking at the uptrend on RT. Ooh. I like that play from an MPI perspective. Should I put uranium on my watch list? Absolutely, Braxton. I would say yes. I would definitely say yes. And I'd look at a lot of different uranium stocks. ADMA, the 5 just went above the 40. I'm not feeling that it's a down day, so I wouldn't touch it today. Let's go look at a longer term perspective on, that's not what I wanted. Sigh. Let's go watch this viewer. Let's go look at the 3-day. Let's go look at the MPI, and that's going to be more of my swing trade. The MPI 1 day is more for shorter term, but the 3-day is more for swing trade. Look at that. All of these are buy recommendations. Most of these have relative values above 1. Should I sell Amazon before earnings? Be careful with that. I am a big fan, especially if you're trading options. Ron Wheeler doesn't like to be in an option when the stock is about to talk about earnings. So be careful with that. That's all I got to say about that, winner. You know something? You might want to think about selling it. If it goes up, then you get back into it, but you're going to buy it at a higher price. All right. So that's your call, winner. That's your call. All right. Let's go look at these. All right. This is over the last 3 days. Let's go to the 3-month. I'm still in the look of the MPI. Look at this. Real quickly, it went below. Look at all of this time it spent above the 40-day moving average of RT, and look what the stock's price did. Woo-wee. All right, well, I wouldn't buy it today. It's a down day today, but the 5 just went back above the 40 on relative timing. I'd keep my eye on that. AGYS, 5 went above the 40. The 5 is above the 40 on price already, coming off of a 3-month high from Friday. I like the move on the stock. So Braxton, I'm really liking the MPI results, but I would just make sure that any of the ones that I buy, Reliance Steel, I'd make sure that any ones that I buy, that they are moving up that day, not moving down. All right. I'm not going to look at any more stocks, Greg. I looked at a lot of your stocks for you today. You guys got me. I wasn't going to do that today, but I got in today and I looked at your stocks. Is the top graph 5 and 40 of price or the stop? I believe it's a 5 and the 40 of the stop price. The 5 and the 40 of the stop price. Mike, you sent me an email and I answered your email, but I don't think you were happy with my response. Hopefully you were here at the beginning of this live stream where I explained everything about that portfolio. All right. Hopefully about that watch list of stocks from the 2023. Hopefully you were here from the beginning as I did that. All right. I have a question. I have a question about what graphs you are looking at here and what are you reading? So EJM, this is the graph layout. The graph layout here is the near perfect indicator. All right. And that's the graph layout that I'm looking at. I ran the search in the system. To find the stocks. And now we're just backing it up by looking at the graphs of the stocks that met the criteria from the search. All right, so Braxton, there's the 1-day MPI crossovers and the 3-day MPI crossovers. I'm pretty much at 1. We ain't got to look at everything else today. That's fine. I answered a lot of questions today. I looked at a lot of stocks today. So put those two things together. I think that we had a nice full day of, going over the 2023 listing of stocks, looking at the MPI, looking at a lot of different things. That's what it's all about. And again, the only way you're going to get a lot of these things is by subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell icon and sharing this. Share that, we didn't get up to 300. We got to over 250. We didn't get to 300. I'm pushing for that. And once we get to 300, I'm going to want to get to 400. I want to get to 500. Folks, this is all about what we do for you. I never pump or dump a stock. I got no ulterior motive on any of the stocks that we look at. All I want to do is provide for you an opportunity on this channel to make money in the stock market. And if you've got questions about what I've done, hold me accountable. That's why I wanted to spend the first portion of today's session to answer those questions that were out there. All right. I got nothing to hide. And everything that I did was above board. The video was done on 1/3. It was done. And those were the stocks at the time. Watch our 6 p.m. videos. We give you ideas. Always remember, though, make sure the market is moving in your direction before you pull the trigger on those stocks, and make sure that the stock is moving in your direction before you pull the trigger on that stock. What do we got? Got 106. There we go. I didn't even have to ask to get 100. Way to go, folks. This is good. But always remember, share our content, folks. Share our content. It's the only way we're going to get better. All right. Are you thinking about going into DSX? I'm going to look at it. I am. I'm thinking about LTRX and DSX. I'm going to do some analysis, going to look at some news on it. I might pull the trigger on those, but DSX look good. DSX good. Best thing Glenn did today, he didn't sing, and that was great. That's all right. That's all right. I'll maybe sing tomorrow. Do I have a live stream tomorrow? No, I got one on Wednesday. Maybe I'll sing on Wednesday. All right, with that, LTRX and DSX on the watch list. Yeah, I'm putting that on my watch list. And actually, I'm going to go back one last time How many of you have a hit list of your own stocks? Type of 1 in the room. How many of you have a hit list of stocks? Type of 1 in the room. I type of 1. And if you don't, everybody in this room needs to have a hit list of stocks. All right. And I'm adding LTRX and DSX to that list. I had 84. Let's go see if it jumps up to 86. Everybody in this room, yep, it went up to 8. So I just added 2 more stocks to my hit list. All right. And then I can use like the NPI. Oh, let's go to, I can use, how about the NPI hit list, NPI crossing. Whoo. Since I like the NPI or the 3 and the 8, I got a 3 and the 8 on my hit list as well. Look at that. Those are the only 2 that hit. Well, we already saw that. Those were the only 2 that hit from the NPI crossing. But if I like the 3 and the 8 with other stocks, I got 3. INSW, Grin, and Kala. How about that? I can use my hit list and put it up against any search. All right. That's enough. I've given you way too much information. I got to hold some of it back. Got to keep you coming back. We got 118 likes. Thank you guys for that. Folks, we want to be different than anybody else out there. So make sure you keep coming back and supporting the channel. With that, folks, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until the next time, folks, see ya.